Hello and welcome to today's video. I have a lot of books on my 2024 TBR. I'm happy to say a lot of them are ones that I own physically. So let's get into it. We'll just pretend that it sets the mood. This list is books that I just generally have wanted to read for either months, years, decades. This doesn't include like themed books. Like for Valentine's Day, of course, I have more romance books that I want to read in February. I have more summertime books that I want to read in the summer. And of course, I have my cozy fall vibe books that I want to read in fall. So make sure that you subscribe and you turn on post notifications so you get notified every single time that I post a new video. We're going to be starting off with the fantasy books. The Cruel Prince. I only have book one. I've had this recommended to me a few different times. I genuinely don't know very much about this book. Let's see. So it looks like it's about a girl who gets kidnapped and put into this fairy tale fae world, and she falls for a king. I think it's like a enemies to lovers. I've seen it a lot where people recommend it and say that it's a slow burn that's really good, so this is on the list. If I enjoy it, I will definitely finish the series. I don't tend to like second books in series. It's kind of really common with me. So I'm hoping if I do enjoy this and I pick up the second one that I like it and then I finish the series. So let me know if you have read The Cruel Prince and if you think I will enjoy it. I love fantasy, so I think I'll like it. It sounds good. Sharpen your blade, harden your heart. That sounds sick. I read like the first chapter of it and liked it, but I just had so many other things on my TBR that I had to just move past this one. Okay, next up is a book that I just bought, and it's called Uprooted. This sounds so good. It may be like my most anticipated book that I have on my bookshelf right now, to be honest. I don't remember if I saw Katie is Reading talk about this one or if it was somebody else in a vlog. They held this up and I immediately fell in love. So this one is also about a girl that gets kidnapped. Oh my gosh, it sounds so good. Let me just read you the first line. Our dragon doesn't eat the girls he takes, no matter what stories they tell outside our valley. I read that. I didn't even read the back of the book by that point, and I grabbed this. And then on the back of the book, you find out that the dragon isn't even a dragon. He's a wizard that like protects this valley. Every 10 years, he takes a girl to be like a servant to him. The main character of this book thinks it's gonna be her best friend, who is like the sweetest person in the world, and there's nothing that she can do to like stop the dragon from taking her friend. And I'm assuming that's gonna be like the main conflict for the beginning. And then the catalyst, on the back of the book, it says, but when the dragon comes, it is not her best friend. He will choose. So then I'm thinking he ends up taking the main character. So this one, I like genuinely think I'm gonna read today. It sounds so good. I love dragons. I did read Fourth Wing. I read Iron Flame, and I will not be continuing that series. But I really wanted to read some more books with dragons in them. So that brings us to talk about Anne McCaffrey. No, I have not read a single piece of work from her. No, I don't even know if I will like these. Yes, I did buy them all at Goodwill. So I grabbed like 5 of them from a Goodwill on my birthday because obviously they're dragons, and I love older vintage looking books like this. And I read one fantasy book that was from I think the 90s, and I was obsessed with it. I saw these in the thrift store and I just had to grab them, and I've been talking about these books for a little while now, and I just saw a TikTok where a girl was like,
there's a series that brings together like Fourth Wing and A Court of Thorns and Roses, and it has dragons and it's sick, and it's by Anne McCaffrey.
I've had these books for like 6 months now. Are you kidding me? I don't know if that's trending right now. I have 7 books out of this series, and I'm pretty sure it's like a 20 book series, but I do have the first one. This I think is like the 4th, so that's great. I'm just gonna be hunting for these books. I'm wanting to start the series at the very least, see if I like the writing, see if I like the world, and let's hope together that I do. Sticking with the fantasy theme, I also really want to read Powerless, which is a book that I do not have. It's everywhere. Around every corner I'm seeing this book. The fact that she blew up on TikTok TikTok, and I think she self-published it first. She's really, really young, like in her early 20s or 19, I think. I'm so proud of her, and I don't even know her. I really want to read this book because not only did I find out that it's really, really great, I want to support an author like that. So the second one, I don't know if it's a duology, a trilogy, I really don't know very much, but the second book is called Reckless, and that one is coming out, I think, this year. So I want to read Powerless, and then I want to read Reckless. The next book on my TBR is Starling House by Alix E. Harrow. Listen, I almost bought this book when I got this one at Barnes & Noble, but that book was $30 there, so I didn't end up getting it. I found out it's on Amazon for a fraction of the price, so I may grab it from there. I'm not sure yet. I may just get it on Kindle too. I don't really know how I'm gonna go about it, but the reason that I am so eager to read this book is because I read a short story by her. It's called The 6 Deaths of the Saint. It is single-handedly the best writing I have ever read in my entire life. And I'm not saying that lightly. If you have Kindle Unlimited right now, go grab this short story. It even has an audiobook if you're an audiobook person. When I'm telling you, this book came out of nowhere for me. It has second person perspective in it. I've never read anything with second person point of view in it. Oh my god. It skips between second person and I think first person are the main two that it goes through. I made a wallpaper for this book. I'm gonna put a screenshot of my wallpaper right now. This is it. And I posted it on my Instagram stories, and Alix reshared it, and we talked a little bit on Instagram. I was raving about this writing, and she was like, well, it was kind of a test run for my next book I'm writing. And I was like, oh. My goal in life is to read everything she's ever written because it changed the how do you say that word? It changed the trajectory of my life. Not only do I want to read Starling House, but I want to reread The 6 Deaths of the Saint. Honestly, I just want to put the audiobook on and listen to it pretty much every single day for the rest of my life. It's that good. I don't know what else to tell you. At the very, very bare minimum, add it to your Goodreads. Just think about it, please. I understand it may not be for everybody, but it should be. I know you're probably like, okay, cool, but like, what even is it? The Saint of War spares the life of a servant girl so she can fulfill her destiny as the kingdom's greatest warrior in this short story of love and loyalty. Always mindful of the debt she owes, the girl finds her worth as a weapon in the hand of the prince. Her victories make him a king, then an emperor. The bards sing her name and her enemies fear it, but the war never ends and the cost keeps rising. How many times will she repeat her own story? It also has a Groundhog Day kind of trope. Stop the presses. You have to read this book. You have to. And I'm done ranting about it. Also, it's only 30 pages. The audiobook is like less than an hour. Moving on. Okay. I got this. Yeah. Sprayed edges, special edition. It's purple. Not sure if you know this about me, but I love the color purple so much. I went to Barnes & Noble the same day that I got Uprooted. I was reorganizing this shelf because they had the books out of order for the Crave series, and that drove me nuts. So I was putting the books in order as they go. They had like the second book on the end. I'm like, what if somebody comes here and they don't take the time to like look up the order? It takes 3 seconds, guys. So anyway, enough about that. As I was rearranging them, I look in the very back and I see purple. What is that? And I pull it out and it's the special edition, the only one left all alone to its own devices. So I got it. I love the Crave series. I have not finished it. Okay, I'm on, I think, the 4th book. The second one is my all-time favorite so far. And if they had that in a special edition, that's the one I would have gotten. But I just felt like this, I couldn't pass up, and I'm gonna keep this forever. And I'm gonna reread the series at some point in my life. I know it. It is a guilty pleasure, and I'm not ashamed to say it. The entire thing is on Kindle Unlimited, so that is where I'm gonna be finishing the series. On Kindle Unlimited, I'm like 50% of the way through Covet, I think is what the 4th one is called. Sometimes I get sick of it because it feels very much like they set the stakes super high, and then in order to fulfill whatever the conflict is, like to get the resolution, suddenly there's another conflict that's even more of a high stakes, and then it like just keeps going to a point where it's like not believable anymore, and you're just kind of like, dude, why is this happening? And then the steps to, if they're in a war, the steps to like get this crazy weapon is like 30 steps, and it's always something else. There's always something dramatic, and like there's always something. So I get sick of it pretty often. I'm feeling like I just need to power through and just finish the rest of the series so I can be done with it. I really love the main character and our love interest the most, so that's why I'm still reading this series. Switching gears a little bit, I want to finish, I've never started this book. What am I saying? Bruh. I want to read Circe. I also have Song of Achilles, but I'm thinking I'm going to read that in the summer. This is just a book that I genuinely want to read so bad. It looks so good. The reason I want to read this one so bad is because I read the first line for a video. I instantly was like, this book will be my new personality if I read this. It says, when I was born, the name for what I was did not exist. Sold. It's Greek mythology, it's about Circe. What more is there to know? Along with Circe, I would love to read Piranesi, I think that's how you say it, this book. I've heard that it's just like a fantastic read. You should go into it not really knowing anything about it. It's about Piranesi, and I think like he's a storyteller. I don't really know, but it's Greek mythology and it sounds incredible. I just really want to read that one, so that's definitely on my list. We're still in the fantasy realm, if you hadn't been keeping count. I would love to start Brandon Sanderson and just read Mistborn to see if it's something that I would enjoy. I have not read or dipped my toe into this realm of fantasy really. I want to see if I would enjoy it. I think I would. There's a few other, I think they classify as like high fantasy books that I have like on Goodreads, but I'm just scared that I'm not gonna really like them. So I want to just start with the OG, the thing that people say is the gateway to Brandon Sanderson, and start somewhere with it. Oh, we're gonna just switch gears, like a hard gear shift. Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I read The Love Hypothesis and really enjoyed it. The romance was great. I have nothing negative to really say about it. I enjoyed it. I heard people love this one so much, and I liked her writing style, so I'm thinking I'm gonna like it as well. What I do know about this book is that this girl, she basically works for a service where she pretends to be somebody's girlfriend, and she ends up falling in love with the guy's brother. There's tension there. I think they knew each other. Not 100% sure, honestly, but it sounds really good. I'm just excited to read it. And I found it at a little free library, dude. Are you joking? Next up is Janet Evanovich's Stephanie Plum series. I have read these 3 books of this series. I went ahead and bought all of these ones. I'm about this far into the 4th book. I definitely recommend looking up reviews if you want to read this series. It is from the 90s. It is from the 90s. Our main character, Stephanie Plum, is a bounty hunter. She definitely looks for bad guys, and bad things happen. Horrible, horrible things happen. If you get easily triggered by things, definitely look up the trigger warnings. It's really funny. Like, I've caught myself laughing out loud to some of these books, and other times throwing up, and then other times crying. So I enjoyed the series. I really like the characters like that stay consistent in the series. Obviously there's things that I don't like reading that were okay back then that are not okay now, but just go into it knowing that. I would honestly love to finish all of the physical books I have of the series. I just bought the 9th one at a thrift store, New Jersey. So like you can almost hear the accent, and like you feel like you are right there on the East Coast, and like people are, it's just so good. It's just really good. If you want to have a good time and you see Janet Evanovich around, just snag one, see if you like it. I have never read Stephen King. I have read thriller. I don't know necessarily if I've read anything that classifies as horror. Kayla, my friend, loves Stephen King. She has read like so many of his books and thinks that I would enjoy it, so I want to read a Stephen King book. I don't really know which one to start with. Just generally Stephen King at some point in 2024. Last but not least is a classic, The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I feel like I've been waiting so long to read this book. I read the first chapter and I started annotating it and I loved it so much. Honestly think I just need to read it and not try to annotate it, because I think this is going to be a book that I keep for the rest of my life. So I will always have time to annotate it, and I just need to read it to have read it. I think I'm really gonna love this. I'm gonna make more TBR videos, more what I read this month, and just give you guys more book recommendations. I see a lot of the same books recommended over and 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 over. I would love to be somebody that reads something a little bit different. I know not a lot of these are very different, but if anything piqued your interest, please, I would love to know. So comment down below. I love reading your guys' comments, so please comment down below. If you comment an emoji with anything to do with the ocean, it could be a fish, a boat, a wave, whatever, then I will respond with a joke. Not saying it's gonna be funny or that you're gonna laugh, but it'll be a joke. Add me on Goodreads, and then I can see what you're reading. You can see what I'm reading, if I'm enjoying things. I'm a little brutal on my reviews on Goodreads. When you go on and you're like, wow, why does this girl have so many 2-star reviews on these books she's reading? Just don't judge me. I judge enough for the both of us. And that's all I got for you today. So I hope that you enjoyed this. If you liked today's video, please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.